It is Minneapolis. We're watching it.
Dante's Boxing Nation.
Dante's Boxing Nation. Keep watching. Keep watching.
Dante's Boxing Nation, what's going on, guys? I wanted to talk about this Mayweather IV story, and I wanted to quote a couple very relevant people in the boxing game and share their thoughts as well. Now, for those of you guys who don't know too much about this story or just haven't taken the time to look into it, long story short, following the Mayweather-Pacquiao weigh-in, Floyd Mayweather reportedly took an IV drip. It was an injection of vitamin and saline. Now, for those of you guys who don't know, vitamin and saline IVs are specifically used for dehydration, or in some cases, severe dehydration, right? Now, saline and vitamins are not illegal. They're not banned substances in the sport of boxing. What some reporters are accusing Floyd Mayweather of doing is taking an excessive amount of saline and vitamin. Now, obviously, this creates multiple questions. One of the questions are, why would Floyd Mayweather need an IV drip for dehydration? Another question that some fans are asking is, why is it Manny Pacquiao wasn't granted permission to take a Toradol shot for pain before he got in the ring with Floyd Mayweather? There's other questions as well, but these are some of the main questions right here. Now, before I give you guys my thoughts on this whole situation, I want to read you guys a couple quotes that I believe are pretty relevant because these are relevant people in the game. So let's go ahead and start with Larry Merchant. Quote, "It is my understanding that the IV is used for two purposes. One is to rehydrate. Many fighters have to dehydrate in order to make weight. And then after the weigh-in, they try to rehydrate. The other is to mask illegal drugs. All I know for sure is Mayweather has never had trouble making the welterweight limit." End quote. Let's go ahead and read what USADA had to say about this whole situation. Quote, "Mr. Mayweather did disclose the infusion to USADA in advance of the IV being administered to him. Furthermore, once the therapeutic use exemption was granted, the Nevada State Athletic Commission and Mr. Pacquiao were immediately notified, even though the practice is not prohibited under NSAC rules." End quote. Let me read Floyd Mayweather's statement. Quote, "Let's not forget that I was the one 6 years ago who insisted on elevating the level of drug testing for all my fights. As a result, there is more drug testing and awareness of its importance in the sport of boxing today than ever before. I am very proud to be a clean athlete and will continue to champion the cause." End quote. Now let's hear what Manny Pacquiao's best representative and boxing promoter had to say, Bob Arum. Quote, "I don't think we're in grade school where reprimands mean anything. The fight happened, the results was in, and anything that goes on now is meaningless." End quote. So according to Bob Arum, he doesn't even take this story situation. He looks at this as grade school talk. It's not anything that's going to change what happened. Just in case you guys don't know this, if any fighter tests positive for any banned substance, that fighter would most likely be suspended and the fight will become a no contest, right? If you listen to Bob Arum, he's not thinking about trying to protest or do anything when it comes to this, because he truly feels that there is nothing there. In his own words, it's meaningless, right? Let's move on and hear what Alex Ariza had to say. Now, Alex Ariza, who we all know is a strength and conditioning coach who specializes in all of these vitamins and minerals that these athletes take, he insisted that IV doesn't do anything, and both the commission and USADA agreed in the written findings. Now, this part of the interview is probably the most interesting part of the interview, is when Alex Ariza said USADA requested the IV because of Mayweather's dehydrated state. And then Alex Ariza will go on to say, quote, "Nobody is ever going to talk well about Floyd. They are always looking for something controversial, but he does what every athlete out there has done before and currently does. If people think he beat Manny Pacquiao because he was dehydrated, they should follow another sport." End quote. Now, guys, let me give you my thought on the situation, the whole IV situation. Floyd Mayweather has pretty much pioneered the protocol that takes place today when it comes to Olympic-style drug testing in the sport of boxing, right? If Floyd Mayweather were to do anything that would intentionally contradict what he set as the standard today, Floyd Mayweather would be a fool. He would be a complete fool. Okay? Let's move on. Let's talk about some of the fans accusing USADA of being in Floyd Mayweather's pocket. Let's just really evaluate this whole situation. Let's really look at this. Do you guys really believe that the guy that you guys claim, and when I say you, I'm talking about the decafs, only the decafs, not a big percentage of, of boxing fans, but it's a chunk out there. You guys say that Floyd Mayweather is the most hated. We don't like him, etc., etc., etc. You guys expect me to believe that according to the decafs, Floyd Mayweather is paying off the judges. Floyd Mayweather is paying off the referees. Floyd Mayweather is paying off USADA. Do you guys honestly expect me to believe, or do you even believe deep down, that America loves this black man, Floyd Mayweather, so much that even when there's this huge, quote unquote, huge scandal of Floyd Mayweather, quote unquote, cheating, America is not going to go after him with the biggest investigation? Do you guys really believe that? Do you know what this country can do to Floyd Mayweather's life if they really believed that he was guilty of hiding something? I mean, you have some reporters in some ways suggesting that Floyd Mayweather did something that gave him an advantage and changed the result of this fight between Mayweather and Manny Pacquiao. Let me go back to Floyd Mayweather allegedly having everybody in his pocket. In other words, he pays off everyone, according to these decafs. He pays off the boxing judges. He pays off the referees. He pays off USADA, right? Now, it's funny because when I was at the Mayweather-Berto fight, I remember some boxing fans coming out the restroom, and this one guy, he meets up with his wife after he comes out the restroom, and this is after Mayweather beat Berto. And these fans are sitting over here. This is how you know when a person is making up everything that they say, because they're inconsistent with every accusation, right? They go from saying, oh, this guy is nothing but a runner, he's a coward, he's this. When I expose the running and I say, well, what about when he was standing right in front of Canelo? What about when he was pushing back a 20-pound bigger Canelo, fighting Cotto on the ropes and this and this and this and all, and just giving them facts after facts after facts. This is how you know someone is emotionally charged, right? And emotionally attached. because as soon as you expose their ridiculous accusations, they come up with more. So as I'm talking to this guy, as I keep shutting him down, you can see his face expressions change, like he's acknowledging that what I'm telling him makes a lot of sense, and he didn't really think of that because he's so used to being around a whole bunch of idiots congregating together saying the same dumb shit, right? So as this guy starts to get quiet, then all of a sudden his wife comes out of nowhere and said he paid them all off. He paid off the judges, he paid off the referee, he paid them all off. This is what she's saying when it comes to the Andre Berto fight. I couldn't make this shit up. She accused Floyd Mayweather of paying off the judges so that Floyd can beat Andre Berto. And guys, these are fans that actually paid to come and watch the Mayweather fight. Sound familiar? It should sound familiar, because when I heard that lady say this, the first thing that popped in my head is that old white lady that I would always see in Muhammad Ali documentaries. She was a boxing fan, and she would attend all of Muhammad Ali's fights praying that he would lose. I remember she said to the reporter, she said, "You guys call that fighting? That's not fighting. All he does is run." And then she basically went on to say she can't wait till he gets his ass whooped. This is exactly what these people were telling me about Floyd Mayweather. They paid to watch him fight. They called him a runner. And then at the end of the conversation, the wife said he's paying off everyone. But going back to paying everyone off, having everyone in your pocket, as they say. Have you guys ever heard of a black man in America that was so powerful? He had the cops in his pocket, the DA, the judges, and everyone else that can possibly interfere with whatever it is he's trying to do. Have you guys ever heard of a black man in America that was that powerful? Not including top two, the most powerful man on the planet, President Obama. Have you guys ever heard of just some regular hustler who had that much power? Of course, you never seen or heard of a black man with that type of power. You know why? Because he doesn't exist. Now, there may be people that aren't on the coincidental list that have that type of power, but not the ones that are on the coincidental list. So I look at this Floyd Mayweather situation as the same. It is very hard for me to believe that this black man that has so many detractors all of a sudden is the most loved by the most important people in the country when it comes to the sport of boxing. I don't believe it. I don't believe it. Now, one thing I will say is anything is possible. Okay? I'm just telling you, this is my own personal opinion. I don't think that it's possible, but anything is possible. All right? Now, to give you guys a little bit of contrast, I also want to bring up the Manny Pacquiao situation. The situation with his shoulder injury, with him requesting a Toradol shot before the fight in the dressing room against Floyd Mayweather. And also his rehab story that he shared with all of us following the Mayweather-Pacquiao fight. Manny Pacquiao did, right? Let's first talk about the Toradol shot. Now, if you guys didn't know, Manny Pacquiao, he requested a Toradol shot. He said he had shoulder pain right before the Mayweather fight. But the thing is, on his form, he filled out that he had no injuries at all. The difference for Manny Pacquiao, and before I explain the difference, let me just go ahead and say this. I personally had no problem, or I would have had no problem with Manny Pacquiao having this Toradol shot. Okay? I mean, they decided not to give it to him. I'm not complaining. If they would have gave him the shot, I'm still not complaining. And that's the point that I wanted to make. But the difference for Manny Pacquiao and Floyd Mayweather is Floyd Mayweather he disclosed what he was doing and what he wanted to do. Okay? Manny Pacquiao, on the other hand, he did lie on a forum and say nothing was wrong with his shoulder. But the lies didn't stop there, because then Manny Pacquiao, after the fight, he changed his story and he said that he was actually injured during the fight, not before the fight, which means that Manny Pacquiao, he never even needed a torso shot before the fight, because he changed the story himself. Then, a couple months after the fight, we're hearing something completely different from every member of Team Pacquiao. We're hearing Bob Arum say something that doesn't coincide with what Ariza is saying. That doesn't coincide with what Manny Pacquiao is saying. They're telling us that Manny Pacquiao is in rehab and he's about to see the doctor, and et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Then all of a sudden, Manny Pacquiao comes out and he says, hey guys, nothing is wrong with my shoulder. Matter of fact, I never even went to rehab for my shoulder. It was God that healed my shoulder, and it was the salt water when I was swimming in the ocean that actually healed my shoulder. Okay? So the difference is, once again, Manny Pacquiao's story continued to change. Floyd Mayweather, at least to this day, Floyd Mayweather's story has not changed when it comes to this IV drip. And to reiterate one more time, USADA said that Floyd Mayweather did nothing wrong. He didn't take any banned substance. Even Dan Rafael, one of Floyd Mayweather's biggest detractors, agrees that Floyd Mayweather didn't take any banned substance. Okay? So the big question is this a good look for Floyd Mayweather? Of course it's not a good look for Floyd Mayweather. Any type of controversy, regardless if it's made up, if it's rumors, or if it's true, or if it's just speculation, any type of controversy is not a good look when it comes to Floyd Mayweather or any person on the coincidental list, outside of boxing or inside of boxing, if you know what I mean. Like I told you guys, when you're on a coincidental list, you have to be 5-10 times better than the person who isn't on the coincidental list. And you may still not get the credit that you deserve. Case in point, Andre Ward won the Super 6, beating multiple fighters, some that were in the top 10 for pound best fighter in the world list, right? Andre Ward was a heavy underdog to win this tournament. He beat Carl Froch. He beat Miguel Kessler. He beat Arthur Abraham. He beat these guys when they were considered the best fighters in the world. Okay? Then he beat Chad Dawson, who also was on the pound list top 10. Knocked him out. Meanwhile, Gennady Golovkin has not accomplished as much as Andre Ward has accomplished. And who do they give more credit to? And I say they, we're talking about the decafs, of course. Who do they give more credit to? They give more credit to the guy who isn't on the coincidental list, Gennady Golovkin. You see what I'm saying? Something else that needs to be mentioned. Keep in mind, guys, when Floyd Mayweather first proposed an offer to Manny Pacquiao 6-7 years ago, I think it needs to be known that not only did Manny Pacquiao get an offer on the table, but do you guys know that the offer that Manny Pacquiao got in 2008 was way better than the offer he just got this year? Did you guys know that? Oh yeah. Manny Pacquiao stood to make just as much money as Floyd Mayweather made. Pacquiao elected to turn down the fight. Why? Because he refused to do, at the time, Olympic-style drug testing. So for the people that talk about WADA versus USADA, let me make this very clear. Manny Pacquiao, he didn't want to do WADA, USADA, VADA. He wanted to do nada, if you know what I mean. Okay? He didn't want to do no Olympic style drug testing. So the point that I'm making is, excuse me if it's very hard for me to believe, but anything is possible. It's very hard for me to believe that Floyd Mayweather would be dumb enough to come up with the idea of boxing incorporating Olympic style drug testing into the sport just so Floyd Mayweather can cheat. It doesn't make sense to me. And if Floyd Mayweather had USADA in his pocket, why would USADA report this at all? Why wouldn't they just sweep this under the rug to where no one even knew about the IV? Why would they bring it up? If Floyd Mayweather had USADA in his pocket, he wouldn't need to flush another drug that he was taking out. He wouldn't have to do that. Because if you got them in your pocket, man, you could go fucking dope crazy, can't you? You could take whatever you want. You could be rocked up on all type of juice if you have them in your pocket. I ain't about to be covering shit up if I'm paying you off to make all this shit go away. Why the hell is USADA reporting anything if Floyd Mayweather is paying them off? And once again, why is Floyd Mayweather allegedly trying to use vitamins to hide other drugs if he's already paying off the organization? Doesn't make sense at all. I'll close by saying this. Many big name fighters use IV drips before their big fights, and none of them were accused of doing any type of cheating in the sport of boxing. That's all I got. I'm on to the next one.